right, hello, my most amazing first graders. We are going to start a new project today, and we probably won't finish the whole project today, but we're definitely going to get the main part started. So I want you to make sure that this piece of paper goes in a folder that you can keep, because we will work on this when we come back from Christmas break. Hopefully. Okay. So I was trying to draw in pencil, but it shows up so lightly. I think that'd be really hard for you to see. So I'm going to actually draw in Sharpie. Oh, wait, maybe you can see it now. I'm going to draw in Sharpie. I would like you guys to draw in pencil first, because I think that will be important to make sure it's the way you want it and not permanent. So we are going to start by putting our finger in the middle of our paper and then going a little bit further. We're going to be making a coffee cup or a hot chocolate mug. So we want to give the illusion of our coffee mug going into our paper. So we don't want to go really high. We're going to go kind of below center, because we're going to draw our coffee mug and it's going to sit on a table, and then we're going to do something in the background that's going to be really cool, I promise. So we're going to start by drawing a smile. And the smile is going to be the rim of our cup, so we want it kind of big, no tiny cups. So I'm going to draw just a nice smile. I don't want a ginormous smile, and I don't want a teeny tiny smile. Then the next step is I'm going to connect my smile with a rainbow or a sad face. So I'm just going to kind of bring them together and then round them so they're not too pointy. If you went a little over, you can erase that. I can't, because I'm drawing a Sharpie. Alright, then we're going to draw two vertical lines coming down, and this is going to be how big our coffee mug is. So I'm going to kind of draw straight down. That looks like it would hold enough coffee for Mrs. Cole. And I'm going to make the other side kind of match. Kind of looks like a marshmallow, but I promise it's going to be a mug. Then I'm going to draw another happy face connecting these two. And we want this part to be round to give that illusion that it's going back into our paper instead of just straight across. Let's fix that line. All right. Now we need to have a handle for our coffee mug or our hot chocolate mug. You want a handle, so you need to decide what side your handle is going to be on. I have more room on this side, and I have my little oops, so I'm going to put it over here. So your handle is kind of like a backwards C, right? So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to make a pretty big C and go all the way to the bottom. Then I'm going to go on the inside and draw a dot kind of like the finger width apart. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. And then I'm going to do another C connecting those two dots. So I have my handle. And you can make your handle a fancy shape if you want it to be. I just kept it really simple. We have one more thing to do. We want to give the illusion that there's something in our mug. So to do that, I need to start down here at the bottom. I'm going to make another rainbow or sad line that kind of curves around. So I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to curve it. And instantly, that looks like we're peeking into somebody's cup. Right? Okay. So now it's where you have to make some decisions. Do you want to leave your hot chocolate empty, or do you want to add some floating marshmallows to it? I don't know about you, but I do love some marshmallows in my hot chocolate. However, I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm not going to add marshmallows. If you'd like to add marshmallows, remember they're just kind of like little round ovals, or just kind of like how we made our coffee cup. So you can add marshmallows if you want to. I want us to keep going a little bit more, so we're really ready for when we come back in the new year. We want to add a table. We want it to look like our mug is sitting on a table. So if we drew the line right here, it's still kind of floating. So we want to put our line for our table back behind our mug. And we want to skip over our mug and go behind, so it looks like the table is behind us. We don't want our table way up here. We want it kind of halfway to our mug. So our mug's about halfway here. So I'm going to draw a line When I get to my one line, I stop. I'm going to jump over, stop, and jump over and keep going. So now it looks like my coffee cup is sitting on a table or a counter somewhere, and that's what we want. Okay, so what I want you to do now is to stop with your pencil, make sure everything's the way you like it, and I want you to get your Sharpie out. You might want to put something underneath your paper to protect your table, and I want you to carefully outline your coffee mug and that line for the table. If you added marshmallows, it's up to you. You don't have to outline them. You can leave them in pencil or do your outline in Sharpie. That's totally up to you. So I'm going to let you do that, and when you're done with that, come back. Okay, I'm going to pretend that you're all outlined and other things, so we're going to do a couple more things before we go. We want to add pattern to our mug. A pattern is something that repeats, something that happens again and again and again. And we talked about this in kindergarten. We did a lot of line patterns, so I think that's what we should do here. So a really simple line pattern could be diagonal lines. It could be vertical lines. It could be wavy lines. It could even be horizontal lines. So if you're doing a horizontal line pattern, you want to follow that curve. So that's what Mrs. Cole's going to do. I'm going to do just a really simple horizontal line pattern. But see how I'm curving my line? I'm following my curve of my mug. That way it looks like my mug is still round. My last line got a little wonky because I hit something on my table, and that's okay. Maybe I want to add a different pattern so it looks like I have skinny and fat lines, but you can do whatever pattern you like. You could do, I'm going to add another double line over here, and I'm going to do it down here too. Okay, my pattern got a little crazy. Alright, so it looks like I have double line patterns. You guys can keep it really simple. You can make a pattern for your mug. You could do diagonal lines, right? You could do horizontal lines. There's lots of different things you could do. If you wanted to do, this was a favorite last year, zigzag lines, you can. Just remember, a pattern is something that happens more than once. So there's so many different things you can do. Think about our lines. We know how to do wavy lines, loopy lines, broken lines, straight lines. And then all the lines go in diagonal, vertical, or horizontal. So there's so many choices you could pick. So think about what line you want to do and repeat it on your mug. You don't have to be as fancy as Mrs. Cole got. I didn't plan that. I wouldn't make it super skinny like I did. I think this is kind of a mistake here. But I'm just going to kind of darken that out. But draw your pattern in pencil. That way you can erase it if you want to. Now I can choose to do the same pattern on my handle, or I can do a different pattern on my handle. I think I'm going to do like a candy cane stripe on my handle. Okay? So we're going to keep it nice and simple. When this is done and you like your pattern, I want you to outline it again in Sharpie. When all your Sharpieing is done, go through and erase all those pencil lines you might see. When you're done, I want you to take a nice picture of this. So you have a picture of your mug with a pattern on it, sitting on a table, and everything's outlined in Sharpie. Take a picture of this, upload it to a Google Classroom assignment, and then go put this somewhere safe that you won't lose it. Maybe your NTI folder, so we can have it when we come back together in January. So if I don't see you at our class meeting, have a wonderful Christmas, have a great holiday break, and I will see you in the new year. Goodbye, my most amazing artists.